So, the Britons of Iceni. Iceni gets compared to arverni in a lot of ways, mostly because their units are quite similar, except for a few noticeable distinctions, being the availability of a chariot, which is the best chariot in the game, and no archers. Now, I'm here to set things clear about Iceni compared to arverni and what is better and what is worse. The sword band, compared to the Celtic warriors, is worse. The chosen sword band is better because it has 5 more HP. Their heroic nobles are the worst barb elite in the game, worst barbarian elite, and their cavalry is worse than arverni. However, they do get a better slinger as well. And they have a completely unique unit in the druidic nobles, as you can see right here. Here they are. They're all nice and identifiable. With their unique enchant ability, they don't have an elite spear. Not that that matters much anyway. They do have dogs in the back. Oh, they have dogs in the back here. And yeah, Iceni is very much a cycle charge faction, using their slingers to soften up the enemy before charge. The missile roster is incredibly small, which I will show you on the plains. Make a cut and I'll go see you over there. So, the Freeman, once again, like staple unit. Just gonna briefly repeat what I've said several times. Bonuses are just good. They'll stand and fight until their morale gives in. Awful attack, 210, cost-effective low tier. Always recommend to bring a few, especially on attack, to burn those towers or push up that siege equipment like tortoises. I won't say much more because I've said this well several times already. Sword band, Iceni's low tier, worse than a Celtic warrior, though not necessarily a bad unit. They'll fulfill the same function, just to a worse extent. For 340, they are 10 less. Some people don't like them. I like bringing 1 or 2, but some people just go Levy Freeman to the Sword Band. Which is completely fine, but Sword Band do have less health and less attack. It's not looking brilliant for them. Though, you know, they're still a barb low tier, they can still kill stuff. Though just not to the same degree as the Celtic Warrior would. Still, though, a solid pick if you're looking for that killing power in a low tier, because they still do retain that 40 damage sword and good melee defense and charge. The Spear Band is the spear variant of them, something that not many barb factions have. Well, they have the Spear Warriors, but they're a bit more expensive because of 320. They're still not worth bringing, unfortunately, but they have good bonus versus large, really good defense there. Okay attack, not attack, morale. Awful attack. The same survivability as the Sword Band. I'd never bring these guys. Once again, they do come with Peeler, though, like, who cares? Because you get 20 more, you're getting a better unit. Sure, these guys are better against Cav, but they're just going to get flattened anyway, so who cares? So, don't bring the Spear Band, bring the Small Band. Or if you want a Spear, Levy Freeman. Ambushers, your Guerrilla Deploy unit. They can spread out as far as an archer can, pretty much. Like this, as you can see. They have 5 volleys of Peeler. It's a hidden stat, kind of, but they do. They have the bonus versus infantry weapon. That applies to weapon damage and attack. So against infantry, these guys have 47 attack, 40 damage. I think some of it goes to armor piercing. Low survivability. Okay morale. Amazing charge, amazing defense. For 670, these guys can do a lot of damage. Though they will suffer against cavalry and enemy missiles. Against most infantry, they'll do a lot of damage too. It's just the survivability that brings them down. But they can be a fun unit to experiment with. Try and be annoying if the opposition's deployed their tortoises or siege towers. Try and force them to fight at the foot of the walls, getting your slingers and javies to throw down. It can be an interesting unit to experiment with. But there's your ambushers. I'd recommend them if you want to try and do something a bit different. Unexpected, some may say. Painted ones. The Iceni's version of the Naked Swords. This is our first Fear unit. Minus 15 morale. So this unit is 60. If they were feared, they'd have 45. Exceptional charge. Bonus as infantry weapon, as I explained with the ambushers. You have more charge bonus, less defense, same survivability. For 610, they are also cheaper. I'd recommend bringing one of these most of the time as Iceni, as they do have killing power, and they do have that fear. You just got to send them in at the right time, and you can break an enemy line pretty quickly, these guys. They have Frenzy as well, which will get their charge up to... How much is this? 57. So, all in all, a good unit. I'd bring them. Druidic Nobles. A unit that isn't often brought, and I know why. It's not that great in melee, despite all the stats might try and tell you. It's dumpable. It does have Chant, which is very, very good. It's got the elite weapon, really good defense and charge. So these guys have 55 morale, right? Height Chant. 82. Exceptional morale buff. Oh, look at these guys. Heroic Noble's 105. Even your low tiers, 60. Like, the Chant is really good, but you can only use it once every, like, over 3 minutes. So you hit at the right time if you bring one of them. They're okay in melee, like I say. They got amazing stats, they're low survivability. And there are only 80 of them, which really hinders them a lot. Shield wall is nice, these guys got 580, so not that expensive, though it'd be brought into question whether it'd be better off bringing a Sword Band and Olivia Freeman. Or using like funds for more mid-tiers. Or Chariot. So, you know, you can experiment. Chosen Spearband, Chosen Swordband. Much like the Chosen Swordsman and Chosen Spearman of arverni. Slightly different stats overall compared. They both have 5 more HP, making them better. Chosen Swordsband, you'll spam these guys. Good attack, good weapon, amazing charge, amazing defense, good survivability, good morale, shield wall. Chosen Spearband, if anything, you can bring one of them, but that's about it. I know some people like them. But to be fair, you hit them in the shield screen with cav counter, no cavalry is going to touch them, and they do have javelins. But I still don't recommend bringing them. They'll hold, but they're not going to kill. Bring the Chosen Sword Band, in my opinion. These guys cost 730, these guys cost 690, so they are a little bit cheaper. Heroic Nobles. Headhunt, shield wall, low survivability for an elite, that's key to these guys. Good charge, amazing defense, really good weapon, good attack, good morale. The only problem is, they cost 1300, they're worse than every other barb elite there is, including Gete's Noble Swords, because of that survivability. And just lower attack. Because Noble Fighters make up for it with a higher attack stat and a better weapon. These guys don't. They're still in a barb elite, they'll cook Hellenic elites, but they won't do well against other barb elites that are full strength, they'll just straight lose. But they're still obviously your best general option, of which there are 3, the Heroic Riders, the Chariots, and the Heroic Nobles. But I'd most commonly recommend the Heroic Noble General. It's still a good unit, but not as good as what it could be. But overall, it's a barb elite, it'll kill a lot. Only 2 missiles to choose from for Iceni. Britain Skirmishers and Britain Slingers. Britain Skirmishers only cost 210. Awful stats, awful missile damage, the worst one. No fire shot, though they only cost 210, so against certain factions. Even Sparta, if you need the extra missiles. Sparta, lose tiny ODK, extra missile. If you're using +1 rule, bring a Britain Skirmisher. If not, you can take a Olivia Freeman. Bristol Slingers working the exact same way as the Eastern Slingers, except I believe they have slightly more survivability for the same cost. So, very good, but once again, 25 morale. If they get scared, they're going to run, but they'll do a lot of damage. They're very, very deadly with the 6 AP per shot, as I will show you. You're going to bring probably 4 of these guys more often than not. +1 rule, you're going to be bringing an extra Britain Skirmisher, depending on what you're facing. But overall, a good slinger unit, and unfortunately it will be predictable for Iceni what their missiles will be. Heroic Riders, they're elite melee cav. Worse than Noble Horse, not that brilliant, though I'd imagine if you are against a faction like Saba, it can work if you need it as a general to help counter those camels, the pesky camels. Lower armor than the Noble Horse. And lower attack scores, lower stats of damage, but they cost 1280, so they are slightly cheaper. Though they're obviously still a very good melee cav, if you can use them correctly. Though they're a big investment, and you might be safer bringing your infantry, as Iceni, relying on your relying on your teammates for cavalry. The other cav options are Britain Scout Riders, don't bring them. They're literally the Iceni's version of Light Horse, so I think we all know what we need to know for that. But they do have 40 armor, so might be a redeeming quality. Veteran Riders, heavy melee cap for 580. These guys cost... Scout Riders cost about 400, I think. Low armor on the Veteran Riders, though they are heavy mass, so they will kill on the charge quite easily. They're very similar to the Spear Horsemen of Getae, most recently covered, just less survivable, but they get Frenzied Charge, so they're unbreakable for 30 more. You can experiment with this unit since they're really cheap, but don't expect them to go toe-to-toe over Cav. The final two units, and they're specialist units, the Chariots, always hit melee mode, and typically Flaming Shot. However, if you are trying to hide, don't hit Flaming Shot, because for some reason, no matter what, it will always unveil your Chariots. So hit Standard Shot until you go in for the charge where you hit Flaming Shot, and well, why Flaming Shot? Because it is good at lowering enemy morale. So when you're running through them, la-di-la-di-la, so we go through here. Pretend this is enemy infantry. I hit Flaming Shot, they'll be firing at will. And as I'm killing them all, they'll have a decrease of -5 morale, and hopefully break them faster. So as I would be going through all these units, getting loads and loads of kills, they'd be breaking easier, which is obviously a good thing. And they are the best chariots in-game, because they have amazing stats across the board. There's 20 of them, they're capped at 4, they only cost 900, so they're not actually that big of an investment compared to what they could be. Really good survivability. They can even stand up to lower-end cavalry. Lower-end cavalry won't kill them, but really do recommend the chariot. I don't know what weapon they have, I'm just going to take a look. Okay, it's just the barbed sword. I'd recommend the chariot. You can even bring 2 of them on defense. They're risky, but for only 900 you're getting the best chariot in game. Dogs, don't bring them. Once again, only really good at killing Scythian horse archers, stuff like that. The rest of the handler stats are bad. Low armor, they'll be shot. They won't do anything against infantry. They cost 400 though, so they are very cheap. Overall, Iceni does rely on its really good mid-tiers, like the Chosen Swords. The Britain Slingers to soften up their opposition's lines before going for the devastating charge. And if you bring in your chariots, you will be reliant on them as well to do a lot of good killing. You have cost-effective low tiers, a lot of specialist units, got some fear. It's a very, very strong faction, underrated in my opinion. And that will do Iceni. I believe next up is Kush, so I'll see you then.